My name is Erik Mariscal. I'm majoring in business with a concentration in marketing at San Jose State University. I'm expected to graduate in the fall of 2022, and over the summer, I spent my time completing a course that would certify me in digital marketing. And as for my deliverable, I'm doing like a marketing plan for AT&T, specifically the FirstNet section of AT&T. So that's what I'm doing right now. So real quick, I'm sure most of you have never heard or even know for FirstNet and what it does. So I'm going to give you guys like a quick basic understanding of what it is. FirstNet is a dedicated network exclusive to first responders. Now, what that means is, let's take like in a case of an emergency, right, where normal consumers are all trying to reach out to their friends and family, right, as one would, just to make sure everyone's okay. Um, the problem with that is with so many people trying to use the network at the same time, the network just gets too busy, too congested, and calls fail. Um, so you're not able to communicate with the people you want to communicate with. Obviously, that creates a big problem, especially for first responders, right? In these emergency situations, it's absolutely imperative that these first responders can communicate, and that's what FirstNet solves. So because there's this dedicated network exclusive to first responders, they're able to actually communicate in these cases of emergencies. And then not to mention, it also comes with exclusive promotions and discounts. For example, as of right now, if you're on FirstNet, you can get the Apple Watch, the latest one, Series 6, for free. And then you get a 25% service discount on all your mobility needs. So it's pretty big, it's a pretty huge program, exclusive to first responders. That's what it is. Let's talk about the competition real quick. Now, I've left this slide completely blank because there is no competition. No, no, no consumer network offers what FirstNet offers. There is no other consumer network that offers a dedicated network exclusive to first responders, right? In fact, on March 2017, AT&T was actually awarded a 25-year long contract from the government for exclusive rights to the FirstNet network, for the exclusive rights to build out the infrastructure. So when I say there is no competition, I really mean it. It's either FirstNet or regular consumer networks, and regular consumer networks just don't offer what FirstNet offers. So there is no competition. Let's talk about the market a little bit real quick. Fire, law enforcement, and medical. That's the big three. So that's where most of our qualifying members come from. So all firefighters, all law enforcement officers, they're all going to qualify for FirstNet. Within the medical department, there's a few more implications. For example, not all nurses are going to qualify for FirstNet. They have to be working within the emergency department or be a part of the emergency services to actually qualify. Now, with that being said, there's also other qualifying professions that aren't fire, law enforcement, medical that do qualify for FirstNet, right? So, for example, if you're like a tow truck driver and you get called out to accidents, you're part of the emergency services, so you'll actually qualify for FirstNet. Um, so there's about 6 million first responders in the United States. That's not counting other qualifying members like the tow truck driver that I just talked about. But just using the 6 million as a baseline, of those 6,750,000 are existing FirstNet members. That's 12.5% of our target market, right? And when you consider the market conditions, right, with there being no competition, we having this 25-year long contract, 12.5% is pretty low. The other 87.5 are on regular consumer networks. And like I mentioned, regular consumer networks, they're not going to offer what FirstNet offers, right? So there's really no excuse for us not to have a higher percentage of existing members. And obviously, there's a huge area of opportunity, huge area of growth within FirstNet. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, why is it so low? Why is it only 12.5%? And the answer to that question is pretty simple. These first responders just have no idea that FirstNet exists. I'm actually a sales consultant at AT&T. I've worked there for a little less than a year now. And every single first responder that walks through that door and I start talking about FirstNet, they have no idea what it is. But as soon as I educate them about the dedicated network and the exclusive promotions, the exclusive discounts, they're on board. I don't have to do any of the selling. It's pretty easy. Um, and that's what this marketing plan aims to do at a larger scale, obviously. The idea is that as long as we can educate our target market about FirstNet, then the rest will take care of itself. Because I mean, if you ask yourself the question, why wouldn't qualifying first responders sign up for FirstNet? Um, it really is a no-brainer decision. First responders more than anyone understand how important it is to be on that dedicated network for emergency situations. So that in of itself is enough to sell them on the product. And then when you throw in the exclusive promotions, the exclusive discounts, it really is a no-brainer decision. So we're just going to keep the marketing plan pretty simple, pretty straightforward, with the goal of just educating our target market. So how are we going to do that? Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. These are the three digital sites that we're going to focus on. Like I mentioned, we're targeting first responders. First responders aren't typically going to be on Twitter, Snapchat, or these other digital sites. So it only makes sense to focus on these three, the Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. This is where we'll get the most outreach to our target audience. So let's talk about the marketing efforts on Facebook real quick. So obviously, we're going to target first responders exclusively through career qualifications and other qualifying groups on Facebook. Facebook makes it really easy to build a target audience. So we're going to take full advantage of that and just advertise to this target market, right? What the advertisement's going to look like. So we need to keep in mind that when you're on Facebook, you're consuming a lot of content, right? When you're on Facebook, it's really just for entertainment. Um, so when you come across an ad, you're just going to scroll past it and not think twice about it. So it's really important that with our ad, we get their attention really quick because they have a really low attention span on Facebook, right? Um, so we're gonna hit them with the exclusive promotions like the free watch, the Series 6 watch, right? That's gonna catch people's eyes. The 25% service discount, that's gonna catch people's eyes. So we get their attention quickly through the promotion. Um, we get them down the funnel and then educate them as we go through the funnel, right? Um, as we're educating them, we don't need to do any of the selling. The selling will take care of itself. That's pretty much how we do it on Facebook. On LinkedIn, very similar approach. The biggest difference is what the ads are going to look like. So, like I mentioned earlier, when you're on Facebook, there's a lot of content you're consuming. It's mostly for entertainment purposes. But when you're on LinkedIn, the user is going to have a much more professional approach. So we need to mirror that same professional approach in our advertisement, right? We're just appealing to the environment of the site. So the advertisement is going to focus more on the unique selling points of FirstNet, right? We're going to talk about the dedicated network. It's going to do a little more education than on Facebook, but same thing. We'll include CTAs on the ads, right? So click to learn more, click to get a quote. We get them through the funnel, we educate them, we get the sale. Very similar and very simple, obviously. Instagram, it's going to be pretty much the exact same approach as Facebook. The biggest thing with Instagram, though, is that we're advertising to new graduates, right, with a qualifying degree, so any RN, doctors, etc. Um, the reason why this is so important is because if we get them while they're just starting their career, we're going to be able to build that long-term relationship. It's going to build customer loyalty, which is very important, obviously. And then the advertisement, like I said, it's going to look pretty much the same as Facebook because this is a younger age group. They're going to care more about the promotions like the free watch than like the unique selling points like that we would put on LinkedIn. So that's pretty much the marketing plan. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. Just focusing on educating our target audience. So how are we going to measure the success? So we're just going to look at key metrics, right? So we're going to look at how much interest the ads generated, how many quotes did the ads provide, how many people clicked on to learn more, engaged with the ads, shared the ad. And then finally, we're also going to track how many people actually went into the store and subscribed to FirstNet, right? And the way we do the first three bullet points are pretty easy to track through Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram marketing. They make it really easy for us. So that's not really an issue. The way we're going to track if people actually went into the store and subscribed is we give them a code. AT&T calls it a Halo code. Every first responder has its own individual Halo code. So we give them a Halo code. That way we can track where they're coming from and if they actually ended up subscribing. It makes it really easy for the sales associates to complete the process. So we're making the job easier on them, and we're making it really easy for us to track and measure the success. Obviously, we'd analyze, all the analytics, all the metrics, and adjust our marketing efforts as need be. And like I said, we just look at things like engagement and so forth. What do we stand to gain from this? So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, 12.5%, it's very low considering our marketing conditions. So the biggest thing is growing that percentage, right? Dramatically. And the reason we want to do that is, yeah, we have this 25-year long contract. It's a long time, but eventually that's going to end. And if we don't succeed in, building this network and getting these first responders on the network, then the government's not going to renew the contract, right? They're going to give it to someone else. They're going to give it to our competitors, Verizon, T-Mobile, right? So it's very important that we succeed, so that we can maintain that relationship with the government. Obviously, that's going to come with a lot of monetary value. But I mean, if you just think about the non-monetary value as well, right? Think about how great this looks for AT&T. We're providing a network for first responders so that they can communicate in these emergency situations, right? This is working towards saving lives, preventing disasters, et cetera. That's all going to look amazing for AT&T, since we've spearheaded the network. And then, not to mention, all these FirstNet subscribers are going to be ridiculously happy with the network. I mean, every first responder I've helped personally has been more than ecstatic to join, and they haven't left. So when they look at their other entertainment, for example, right, TV, internet, AT&T provides both of those. So when they're thinking about who to go with for entertainment, they're going to think of us first because we've done such a great job on the mobility side of things. So that's the marketing plan. That's how we're going to track our success. That's what we're going to gain from it all. That concludes my presentation. So if you guys have any questions, I'd love to go ahead and answer them.